Title: Under the Rain of a Monday. Mariana had always been a woman who planned every detail of her life. Every step, every goal was carefully mapped out in her mind, without room for improvisation. She worked as a lawyer in a prestigious firm and lived in a small apartment in the city center, surrounded by friends who, although they appreciated her, often saw her as someone somewhat distant, almost cold. The reason was simple. Her life had always been more about goals than emotions. Monday of that week began like any other. Mariana woke up early. He made his coffee with precision, checked his schedule, and headed to the office. But that morning, a small accident completely changed the course of his day. When he left the building, the rain began to fall. Unexpectedly. Even without an umbrella, he tried to run to his car, but in an instant he stumbled and fell to the ground. The sound of his fall was so loud that it attracted the attention of several people near Anas. While he was getting up, he noticed that someone was approaching rapidly. "Are you all right?" asked a deep and soft voice. Mariana looked up, her vision a little blurry from the raindrops that fell on her face. A man with a dark leather jacket looked at her with concern. His expression was serious, but his eyes showed a quiet kindness. Without thinking, Mariana nodded, although his pride was hurt. Yes, it was just a silly stumble." "Thank you," he replied, although deep down he knew there was something more to his tone. The man smiled softly. "The important thing is that you are fine. We don't see someone fall with so much elegance every day." His tone was playful, but his gaze did not leave her until Mariana got completely up. "I think it wasn't so before, as you say." Mariana wiped the water from her face, ashamed. "It wasn't, but it's part of the charm," he replied, with a friendly tone that made Mariana, for the first time in a long time, she didn't feel comfortable with a stranger. The man extended his hand. "I'm Diego. Would you like me to take you home? It's not safe to go out in this rain, and you don't seem to have an umbrella." Mariana, although hesitant, she accepted. Something in Diego's gaze reassured her. During the short journey, they didn't speak much, but the silence wasn't uncomfortable. On the contrary, his closeness made her feel, for the first, once upon a time, as if he could really relax. When they arrived at her apartment, Diego said goodbye with a smile and a simple, "Take care." Mariana, still in the rain, watched him leave, asked why, for a moment, thought that perhaps all that had not been just an accident. Days passed, but Mariana could not stop thinking about that encounter. Something in Diego had touched her deeply. And although she had tried to ignore it, the sensation persisted. The curious thing was that it wasn't his physique that had captivated her, but the calmness with which he had acted, his silent generosity. Ata RDA, while walking down the same street, Mariana saw him again. This time, Diego recognized her first. "Mariana, is that you?" he said, with a smile that lit up his face. She looked at him surprised. "Wow, I can't believe it. What are you doing here?" she asked, smiling slightly, a little embarrassed. Diego, as if the two of them had already shared more than one conversation, began to walk beside her. "The same as you, I suppose." "Just walking," he replied, while adjusting his jacket. Somehow, that was the implicit invitation to start talking. And they did, about everything and nothing. Mariana told him about her work, her dreams, and he listened attentively, without judging. Diego was a man who had not had an easy life, but his gaze never showed bitterness. It was the thing Mariana noticed most. Diego had lived life in his own way, not worrying so much about what it should be, but about what it was. Little by little, they began to see each other more often. First by chance, then with purpose. Diego took her for walks in the rain, showed her small secret places in the city, and, little by little, Mariana opened up more to him. She realized that she had lived trapped in a world where everything had to have a reason, a purpose. But with Diego, she began to learn that sometimes life simply happens, and the best thing is to enjoy it. One Sunday afternoon, as they walked through a park covered in golden leaves, Diego stopped her and said, "Mariana, I know you've always been the person who has everything under control, and I'm not like that. I don't offer you a perfect life is not easy, but what I do offer you is something real, something without a script. Would you like to give me a chance?" Mariana looked him in the eyes, and for the first time in years, she wasn't afraid. She didn't have his answers. He didn't have a plan, but he felt that that uncertainty was what he had really lacked in his life. Yes, Diego, I would like to, he replied, with a genuine smile, leaving behind all uncertainties and embracing the beauty of the unexpected. Love, in its purest form, had arrived when least expected. End, subscribe, and comment.